can start taking your seats. We'd appreciate it.
Okay, well, welcome. This is a wonderful occasion for everybody to come. It's a new day for Westwood, a new day for Islington. A long time in coming, but I think we all can see with this in the background, it's a wonderful building that was well worth the wait. This is a major change in the way the town will operate its fire services. It highlights the fact that we've done some redevelopment in the other side of town, on the far end of town, and that we needed something with larger capacity located near that to respond adequately to that, but at the same time to respond adequately to as backup to the main part of the town. So this is a wonderful facility. I'm not going to say too many words here, but get right on to the program. I see people a little cold and feeling the weather. So today we're going to hear from John Hickey and Senator Mike Rush, who will also speak on behalf of Paul McMurtry, who's unable to be here. And then finally we'll have some words from the Chief Scoble, who did a masterful job overseeing the construction of this. And then at the end of those small talks, we will then have the uncoupling of the fire hose as sort of the ribbon cutting in the fire services. So without any further hesitation, I'll have John Hickey come on and say a few words.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning, everybody. It is such a pleasure to be here, and there's so many people that we could thank for this, and there's so many people in this crowd who've been involved in the redevelopment of Islington and the support of this fire station. I do just very briefly want to recognize my colleagues in government, my colleagues on the Board of Selectmen, Michael Walsh and Nancy Hyde, our State Senator, Michael Rush, and two of our school committee members, Josepha Jowdy and our chair, Carol Lewis, who are here with us this morning as well. When a community opens a fire station, there's so much hope and potential for the future. For each of us, firehouses resonate with safety and security. So I guess as I'm standing here this morning, I'm thinking of safety and security and hope in the future for all of those who will occupy this firehouse and for all the citizens of Westwood that they will serve now and into the future. This is really quite an exciting time for our town. Yesterday, we went to a groundbreaking for an almost $9 million renovation of the water treatment plant on Bridge Street that serves Dedham and Westwood. Today we will officially open this fire station, and in the coming weeks we will open a police station. That's an incredible investment in our future that each one of us should be so proud of. That's our collective hope for the future. We embody what it is to be a community, to build our infrastructure, to support ourselves and those who will come after us. So as Mike said, it's freezing, so I won't go on much longer. I do thank you all very much for all the support you've given us, and I want to recognize my friend, our State Senator, Michael Rush.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it. I want to thank the leadership of this town. It's no mere coincidence that Westwood is doing so wonderful, that the town looks so great, the structures are beautiful, and the quality of life is second to none. And that's in no small part because of your elected Board of Selectmen, Selectman Hickey, Selectman Hyde, Selectman Walsh, Mike Gillette, working together to ensure that the quality of life here in Westwood is second to none. It's an honor to be here. I bring greetings on behalf of myself and Representative McMurtry, who's unable to be here. As words were said earlier, we look at firehouses as beacons of hope. I want to thank the chief and the department. As we all know, everybody loves when a fireman shows up on the scene, right? And it means that, something has happened, probably pretty bad, but you are getting the finest who are there to help you and ensure that you're going to be okay. And a first-class department deserves a first-class facility, and certainly that is what we have here this morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you this morning, and I say thank you and congratulations.
So next we'll hear from the fire chief, who Hopefully he'll say a few more words about what this means to us.
Thank you, Michael. Senator, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you all for being here. It is a special day to move in. Does it mean a lot to us? Yes, it does. And I will say some more words. But first, some thank yous. Obviously to the board for supporting this project from the start. These don't get done unless it has support from the top. And that followed on the heels of the report that came out of the Public Safety Task Force, of which there were members of all different committees in town who decided that this was the priority and this was the place to do it. And I have to tell you that the work that went into that, the study that went into that, was not just, oh, get together and have a couple of meetings. Because it was the work to look at each site, to look at the cost of each site, the efficiency of it, and it was so important. The Finance Commission, we needed their support in order to get it done. And even we ran into a hiccup. When we went out to bid on this project, it was at the extreme high end of the bidding cycle. We were a little short. They didn't waver at all. And for their support, I truly am thankful. The architect, Don Walter, where is Don? And his team, Chip, Sarah, what they did to overcome some of the hurdles that we had and to bring to you what you're looking at. The design of it that went with what we wanted to do in Islington, the functionality of it, which I'll speak a little more to. But it really is something to be proud of. And will this end up on one of the calendars, Don? I hope so. Compass Project Management. I know that Tim is tied up in traffic. Brian is here. I can't thank you enough. We all know what we had to go through to get to the end point. It required work well and above what was in the contract. It's still a little ongoing, but we'll get there. And so to all of you and your team, thank you. The Permanent Building Committee. John is here. I got to tell you, I have never seen such support from a group through adversity. And to all of you on the PBC, thank you. You fought long and hard, and at the very end, what you accomplished truly was in the extreme best interest of the town. And thank you. Pam, our finance director, thank you. You found a way. You found a way that was acceptable to all, and thank you. Really appreciate it. One of the last thank yous is to the guys from Station 2. What they endured, what was supposed to be 15 months, 28 months, whatever, but what they had to live through, crammed in over there, really tough living conditions. But I'll tell you, a testament to them. Whenever I walked in that building, there wasn't a thing out of place. There wasn't an extra piece of material that was left anywhere. They understood there was no room to work, and they made it work under some very trying times. So to all of them, thank you. Tim got hit. Tim, I just gave a thank you to you and your team. Steve, Brian Main, we got there. So as far as Mike asked about, would I say a little more about the building? Absolutely I will, what it means to us. First of all, for the people. At the groundbreaking, we had the old station here. And then we moved down to our little quarters down there, but it worked. But what you see in front of you, right from the start, the size of the doors, might seem like a simple thing, but just to have it wide enough to get the truck in, high enough that we don't have to design around the height of the door, to be able to put a cab up on the interior, that in the wintertime to check the oil and the fluids in the truck, that we can do it inside. The mechanic can work on it inside the building. That is no small thing. It doesn't happen at Station 1. It certainly didn't happen in the old station here. An EMS room. Fire station has lots of walk-in medicals. People come here for help. They had no place to take people. Now we have a private room, a treatment room, a storage room. We can store our EMS supplies as they're supposed to be stored. An SCBA room with a compressor. The thing that saves our lives in fires is the ability to breathe. To have the facility right here, they can back into quarters, recharge the tanks, clean the masks as they're supposed to. Gear lockers. The gears that we have, gear that we have today is all under new standards. They have to be out of the sunlight. They have to be washed. They have to be stored properly. We didn't have any of these things. Simple things like that we now have. Office space. We had none. There was no place for the lieutenant to do their reports. We have that. Fitness rooms. For firefighters, fitness is so key. And they now have a modern facility to do that. Training features that you probably won't pick up on that are built into this building. Places to rappel from. A ladder tower, windows they can crawl through, a stair tower that's built to run hose lines in. A mock-up of a sprinkler system and a standpipe system. Beyond the one that works in the building, we have a separate one to train on. All of these things are what goes into a modern fire station. And now, thankfully, we have that. Just the living facilities for the firefighters, which is key, because they're the ones that make it work. When we had the groundbreaking, I read the names of people who had worked in that old station. So now the time has come. We're going to put a new crew in here, and there'll be new names. And it'll be their names that get attached to this building that will be here for, hopefully, 50, 75, 100 years, whatever. But it will be all of these new names of these firefighters that will work in here and be attached to it. So with that, I would ask those who are going to do the uncoupling to come on up, and we will do the official opening of the station. Selectman John Cummings, please come up and represent BBC.
Sorry, I'm like, I knew you could. I'm like,
My mom always picks up on it.
yeah, I know. The daughter comes up.